Welcome back to the Hitting the Turnbuckle podcast, another NWA Power that's called On the Verge because we are on the verge of at least the semi-finals of the Crockett Cup, although there is no Crockett Cup action this week on NWA Power. And of course, Power means one thing, she's back. Two reasons. One, she hasn't got a Mark Henry around this week. And two, she's managed to watch the show a time, although she's looking, well, I don't know, is that Fiona? Because that's very tanned Fiona.
That's Scottish suntanned Fiona. It's been really nice the last couple of days. So basically, obviously, the whole not working life, just taking the laptop out in the garden, every bit of sunshine I can get because we don't get it very often. We were just talking about that the other day, not with you, but with someone else, just saying how bloody good the summer's been here this year.
Well, considering the winter normally lasts about 10 months of the year, it's nice that we do get a bit of sun.
Absolutely.
Well,
Excuse
we've
me.
had some rain today here in Essex, so we're
A
probably
little bit here too. It's nice just now though.
we're probably going to get our rain soon because it's nearly time for our winter as we're in September. Winter will start very, very soon. So we make the most of it like you have. It's a very, very brown compared to me. It looks like an egg out of a pack of Asda eggs. But anyway, I'm going to start with a moan, Fiona. I'm going to start with a
Oh, go on then. Let's hear it.
But we've watched NWA on Roku now for well, what's this, the third week, fourth week, something like that.
Yeah.
This was the first week of the two-match format on Roku. I don't think it's going to work for me personally.
Mm-hmm.
I felt it was very, let's show you what happened last week. Let's replay the same promo every 5 minutes just because we've got to fill some time. And then it was like, oh, we're going to show you what happened last week, but we're going to give you extended highlights. It was like 2 or 3 minutes of a match that we saw last week. I mean, if they're that slack of content, why don't you just ask us to ship our interviews up there? And they can just edit bits of that and put it on. Because for me,
Absolutely.
it just, and you hit it when we was talking of it, it just felt like a bit of a pre-show.
Yeah, not even a pre-show. Like I remember a show would come up on pay-per-view, whether it was on Triller or Fight or
Mm.
whatever platform you watched it, and you'd get like a half-hour preview of what's coming up
Yeah.
to entice you in to buy the pay-per-view.
Hmm.
And I totally get where you're coming from because it kind of felt like that for me as well watching
Yeah.
it today. It's not a long show, right?
No.
I don't know what the runtime is now, maybe 45, 50 minutes, roughly around about the same as what it used to be when it was on CW or whatever. But two matches in that time is not a lot of action. And I've seen a lot of people complain about other companies. It's a 3 hour
Mm.
show. There was 40 minutes of
Yeah.
actual wrestling action in it. Um, I'm going to agree with you. I don't like the match format.
No.
Particularly when the matches are getting spliced with the promos. If you're going to have two matches and lots of promos, at least run the match full the whole way through.
Yeah.
Don't cut the match up for another video segment.
Well, the same video segment that you watched at the start of the show, which
Yeah,
was kind of annoying for me because don't get me wrong, I like the video segment, but it was, again, it was the same one that we saw last week. I know you had issues last week with it, but it was like,
yeah.
it was the same Thrillbilly Hammerstone promo that we had
And
saw.
it's a great promo.
It
And it
is.
was a great opener for the show. But I still haven't seen last week, so I haven't seen any of last week's action.
Mm,
I haven't been able to get hold of it. So that was the first time I had seen that. And
mm,
I was like, okay, I'm hyped for this now.
yeah.
Like, I'm like, this is the type of promo I'm here for. Like, it really drew me in. Although, to be fair, I'm not going to lie, I was always looking forward to this match anyway with the two of them.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I didn't mind seeing it again once at the start of the show. I didn't mind that. It was the constant putting it in nearly every break to sort of say still to come and stuff like that.
I understand they're trying to grow the market, and by
Yeah.
putting it on Roku, they're trying to get more eyes on the product and trying to entice more people in. It was just, it was like a cheap shot,
Mm.
basically. Like, it just, it lessened the value of the show for me this week.
Yeah, definitely so. Well, let's actually get involved in the show this week instead of look at the promos. Let's start with the match. This week could have just been big meaty people fighting, battering the shit out of each other because both matches on here were very much on that wavelength. And
Yep.
it was a rematch really from good few months back now. MIMS putting his championship, the men's championship on title on the line against Max the Impaler.
It's good to see Max back. I feel it's been a long, long time since we've seen them.
I can't remember when we last saw Max and NWA. I know Max has been on a pretty bad run of luck in terms of
Yep.
Jim Mitchell since Max sort of I suppose, disowned really in a lot of senses.
And we'll get back to that shortly.
We will, but this, I mean, Max was vicious at the start of this. I mean,
Max was going for it. They were very much, I want that belt back. But I
mm,
didn't realize Mims had had the championship for about a year at this point.
yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like, how many times has he defended it? Because I was thinking Lucky Seven, and they never mentioned it though during it.
No, so I don't actually know how many title defenses he's had. And it was funny because when I was trying to access it yesterday and couldn't, I was going, I've not seen G's for a wee while either. So it was quite nice to see him pop up as well.
Yeah, he was obviously in the corner of Mims, like he has been really ever since Mims won the championship. We got to a part where I said it was mainly a brawl. There was a lot of big clotheslines.
Huge clotheslines for each of them.
Max was biting as well during
And
this.
then it breaks to another promo.
It broke to yet another Hammerstone promo. They had the Holy Grail as well. The colognes are in it because obviously they're
They're
wrestlers.
up next week for a semi-final
Yeah.
match. Yeah.
What I liked about the Holy Grail was Smooth just standing there.
Man Mountain, my
The big
boy,
man. The big man just sort of standing there, just looking all cool and
mean and moody.
mean and moody. Yeah, like someone had nicked the last cheeseburger out of Whataburger. But yeah, he weren't a happy bunny. Actually, to be fair, he prefers Chinese and pizza. I had a chat with him about that this week. Fair play. I mean, I'm a big fan of both. So yeah, but yeah, he was looking there. Actually, reminded me a bit like Kevin Nash when Shawn Michaels used to do the promos
He
and
just
Kevin Nash.
stands there in the background. He's like the enforcer almost.
Yeah, he is. He is the enforcer. He's definitely the enforcer of that group. Anyway, we go back and there was more clotheslines in this. The Lost make an appearance.
Yeah, just before we get to that point, I must have missed at the start that it was a no DQ.
I did
I
not
don't know if they
know.
announced it as a no DQ at the start because Max is out with a steel chair.
What? I thought because Max was borderline in disqualification throughout the whole of this.
Yeah, so I maybe they announced it as a no disqualification championship match, but I didn't catch it at the start, and it was only when Max came out with the chair, I
Hmm.
heard commentary go, "This is a no DQ match," and I was kind of like, "Oh, right, okay."
I don't recall them doing that unless they forgot. Wouldn't be surprised if they did
Mhm.
forget, but maybe. But see, I didn't know that. Most I thought you use a chair, you're going to get DQ'd, and that's going to be
Yeah,
that opportunity. But like I mentioned, the Lost eventually because Mims does hit that world's strongest slam, which picking Max up for a world's longest slam is no mean feat, by the way. So
very much so.
Mims picks up
It's
the victory, but the Lost make an appearance at this point.
interesting.
Yes, that was Lev. It was Misery. It was Crazy Steve and Gags. And poor Gags. Max went
Gags
straight
with a
for
new
him.
mask.
Yes, he's got a new mask. Yeah, must have been a present from maybe the rest of them. But
I don't
yeah,
know.
she well, Max, on the other hand, sorry, went for them, and then it went for a break again. But this time it was a different break because we did have what we've enjoyed about the NWA was these little mini promo skits that have aired, and this one we were back at the watering hole. Uh, Uncle was it Uncle Frill's watering hole or something like that? I can't remember what it is. Something like that. As Fiona's choking on her own stuff here. That's She's going to have a drink, ladies and gentlemen. Don't worry, she'll be back. She's just, yeah, trying to compose herself. I don't know what's happened there. That was
I'm so sorry. I don't know what happened there.
that's all right. Are you okay? That's
Yeah,
good.
I'm
Yeah,
just like, oh, sorry. It's all right. I'm not dying or anything.
that's
Oh,
it. You sure?
anyway, sorry. Back to the watering hole.
What an
Oh.
effect I have on women, ladies and gentlemen. That's um, anyway. Yeah, back to Zed watering hole. I think it's Uncle Frill Billy's. I'm pretty sure.
Uncle Thrill's watering hole.
Yes, it is. Tommy Henry, Joe Kazana. Well, they were trying to, I suppose, bury the hatchet in a lot of ways. Well, Joe was in a lot of ways. They
He
they were
wasn't
kind
very diplomatic though.
he was.
Let's be honest. Like, I'm not going to sit there and tell Tommy you're the second or third top territory.
Well, we the top territory according to us, well, according to me, anyways, Exodus Pro. Um, Well, we'll see if that's true or not. Is another thing. But no, that's what he was saying. And then, of course, I mean, he had the book as well. The book was there, and he offered Tommy a drink.
Yeah, but it got a bit strange because Tommy started calling him a goof and calling him the country gentleman goose. And then Joe's like, I agree with everything you say. Why
Yeah.
would you agree with someone that's calling you and your kids a goof?
Well, I don't know, but we'll talk about. We might as well talk about it all because it comes back later on. But we'll get it out of the way now. Eventually, I mean, they're still not. They still haven't buried the hatchet at all in this. But they were a bit drunk, I think, or at least Joe was a bit.
Joe was, yeah.
Although
Stories about the Big Muta, stories about Vader, stories about being in the army.
yeah, he was going back. He was telling all the stories. There was uh, Uncle Joe, or whatever, I can't remember what they call it. It was Uncle Joe. I can't remember. Anyway, yeah, they were telling him all the stories. But we do know where this is actually going because, slight
Yeah.
aside, they did record NWA 77 a couple of weeks ago now, and they do have a KFW against Jokers and a promotions match. So that's we know where it's heading. But the country gentleman threw out Tommy out of this because he wasn't going to bury any hatchets with Joe at the time. And Joe was
But
asking for
Joe
a
getting
fight.
up and putting his fists up for a fight, part of me was like, go on, Tommy, just smack him. Just once, right in the puss.
Right on the old kippers on the lips. You should have given him a big whack. But to be fair, even if he was going to, he was stopped in his tracks
Yep.
by Casey and AJ Kazana, who made him
Going
leave.
to protect their dad, of course.
He did. He did. They did. Sorry, shall I say? They did. But before we get back to Max, Carson Drake is at it again this week, trying
This,
to get
I
the
laughed at this. It was actually, I really liked seeing Fritz in this little sketch because sometimes the refs are just kind of left to the side. So it was quite nice to see Jared in this
trying to get Jared to reverse the decision of the
and
match,
offering him $500 to do so.
and then Jared points out I wasn't the ref.
I can't remember who the ref was in that match, actually. I don't know
Can't
if it was
recall.
Scott or who, but
Can't recall. But I do know the lady that you said looks like the Page sisters is Ashley Stout.
there we go. I did not know her name. Ashley, I apologize for all the times that I have talked about you and not named you.
Or in Fiona's case, Ashley Page, in a lot of ways on this. But yes, he was trying
I'm
to.
not wrong. She does look like them.
Oh, she does. You're right. I agree with that one. She certainly does. Yes, the wrong ref, which is Carson. You lost the championship, mate.
Carson, Carson, Carson.
You've got
This just gets funnier for me every time I see something of him
it,
begging and pleading and doing what he's trying to do to get his belt back.
it was quite funny because we interviewed Lord Crew yesterday. You'll see that in a couple of weeks, and we mentioned the name Carson Drake, and that drew a massive sigh and a shake of the head, and the
From
fact,
us both, as
yeah,
in me and Lord Crew.
from you and Lord Crew, and he did point out that he's in a WhatsApp group with Carson Drake, and he starts everything with his laugh.
Hmm.
For those of you that
He's
know,
just an insufferable human being.
apparently so. Apparently so. I like you, Carson.
He's never going to come back on the podcast
I've got
now.
a feeling we've pissed off quite a few of them, haven't we? Trevor's already because of me. Well, actually, both of us. To be fair, we're both to blame
We've
for that.
had our moments.
With our prediction show, which they didn't really seem too keen about us putting them down as losing.
Well,
Sorry, well, I can't even give away if we know if they're right or not, if we were right or not either. Um, but back to Max, and Max has found the lost. Oh, eventually, in I don't know, was
this
it?
is before, just to touch on what we stopped earlier, this is before we had another recap of what just happened,
Yeah, yeah.
which I don't think we really needed, but
We didn't. We didn't. And yeah, they found Max found the lost in I suppose was it the parking lot? I suppose it was
I don't know. It was like backstage anyway, or out towards, I don't know.
somewhere backstage, and the lost then kind of parted like the Red Sea. And there is Jim Mitchell who turns around and throws a fireball into the face of Max the Impaler. Ugh, oh dear.
I don't know where this is going.
I wouldn't want to be Jim Mitchell.
I wouldn't want to be Jim Mitchell. Part of me wondered initially if they were enticing Max to join them.
Mm, I thought that.
But then when you see Jim Mitchell there and the relationship and the breakdown of the relationship previously between the Sinister Minister and Max, I'm not entirely convinced.
Yeah.
But Max would not look out of place with them as part of a stable.
Yeah, no, it should Max would be perfect in that stable, to be honest. But Max didn't want to, obviously, and paid the price. I don't even know. Are they writing Max off? Is that Max done in the NWA? I don't know.
I
I
hope
mean,
not.
I don't think Max was at 77.
I've got no idea.
I can't remember. Anyway, sad times for Max the Impaler. Hopefully, we will see Max on our.
I'm sure they'll come back and kick some ass.
I'm sure Max will come back to kick some ass. We mentioned after that we went back to there was another Cologne promo. We went back to the watering hole, which we've already discussed. I didn't get Latimer's one either. Latimer had a
Bit
promo.
of a strange one. It was almost like didn't really have a point to it.
It really
It
didn't.
felt like a filler.
And you know what? I feel like even he felt that way in the way he was delivering it. It was kind of like, what the fuck am I doing?
Yeah,
Basically, nothing against him or anything like that. That's another one we've lost, or that. But it just felt needless, really. And I think he
yeah.
felt that way. It sounded like he felt that way as well, to be honest. It was like, oh, why am I champion? Blah blah. Well,
This is what I used to watch. This is what I used to do, and now I've got
mm,
this belt.
well, you've had the belt for nearly a year. you
Yeah.
know. But hey ho, look, it is what it is. They did do that, but it then got time for the only the second match and the final match this week on Power, which was another one of the big meaty men battling the shit out of each other. This was Thrillbilly, Hammerstone. I mean, these
I was
two.
looking forward to this.
Oh, I love this. I thought this was great. There was Corey he got some height on that backdrop, didn't he, with the Thrillbilly did Hammerstone. There was a lot of good. There was a nice drop kick as well. Hammer gets some height on those drop kicks as well.
It was quite impressive. Silas got a good one in as well, I
Yeah,
believe, if I
they
remember
did.
right. Yeah.
They were both doing it. And then we
But a
go.
lot of this action went outside the ring as well.
They did. It did spill outside for quite a bit of the time as well, which ain't a bad thing with those two. I'm quite happy to watch them two brawl away. But then we got to another promo. So we went to another break. This was Immortals time. Ahu, they were going against Nox and Murdoch next week, and they had a promo as well. About their match next week. We come back and Silas's head's busted open, the back of his head.
He's obviously hit it on the concrete. I don't know if it was the concrete or the guardrail. I have no idea. But yeah, a little bit of blood. Not too much though. Nothing to worry about.
Yeah, nothing crazy. But for those of you that don't know, there is no mats on the outside.
It is literally bare concrete.
So when you fall on the floor on the outside of the ring, you take a bump on the outside of the ring, you take a bump onto concrete. So there you go. So his head busted up. There was a bit the overhead belly to belly. I think it was Thrillbilly.
They're both tall guys as well though. So it's a long way to get someone up and a long way to
Yeah.
fall.
They were very athletic for what they were doing in there. So
Yeah.
the overhead belly to belly is strength as well as, the athleticism from Hammerstone to fly over, or the other way around. I can't remember now who was where it was. But every time he was going for the pendulum suplex, he could never hit it because of the
Mm-mm.
back. His back.
Yeah,
Thrillbilly was working on the back. It was obviously a good bit of wrestling psychology there from Thrillbilly.
absolutely.
Working on the back, knowing that Hammerstone's finish is that pendulum suplex, which is a fucking that I've seen that. Whew, that's a big one. That is a big move to hit. There was a big gut wrench power bomb in
Yeah,
this
there was.
for a close one. There was a Claymore kick as well from Hammer, superplex. That took forever for the superplex
Off the top rope.
off the top row.
That was impressive.
And then he did hit it. The pendulums. I mean, that is a move and a half. I don't care who you are.
Yeah,
But that brought out to the ring Alex Taylor, Kerry
of
Morton,
course it did.
the Southern Six.
It did not go the way I thought it was going to go, though. I thought, because obviously Alex comes out with the belt,
Mhm.
and
Didn't
I
think
thought Alex, with his junior heavyweight championship, was going to smack Hammerstone, but Hammerstone was like, whoa, and Hammerstone catches him. But that just gives Thrillbilly the chance to capitalize on the fact that the ref's back's turned.
it did, yeah. And with that becomes a low blow to Hammer, and then a roll up. which does give Thrillbilly the win. But that makes more sense why then it goes to NWA 77 when Hammerstone and Kerry Morton.
Hmm.
It does make sense now. But that was it. I mean, that was Power this week. Two match. I think we're going to get two matches next week, which would.
Yeah, is it the two semi-finals next week?
Yeah, I think so. There's definitely two semi-finals, and I think all we've got left after that is obviously Latimer, Rhino, and Colby, and the match that we're all really looking forward to seeing, Natty and Kenzie.
It's still, we spoke about this. I don't, was it
Mm,
you and I that spoke about
yeah,
this
yeah, we
or
did
someone
today.
else? Why they didn't do it first? The
Yeah,
Natty
we said
match
about this
first?
because it would have been a great way to advertise the NWA's
Yeah.
debut on Roku, to have that.
But then the more I think about it, the more I'm like, okay, well, they've advertised it. Everybody knows she was there. If they do it
Mm,
end, does it keep people watching right up until the end? Because they're
maybe.
desperate to see it. So I suppose you can kind of see both sides of the coin in that point.
Yeah, definitely. The one thing I am a bit surprised about is I don't know the match is coming up, and maybe next week they'll do it, and they'll probably do it all in one week with it. Was not even hyped it
There's been nothing.
because obviously there was a lot going on. I mean, we had Kenzie go into the dungeon and attacking Natty there. We had a lot of other
They
stuff
had, and
going
it was
on.
all hyped up prior to the
Yeah,
event taking place. So the social media buzz about it, and then you saw the videos, like you said,
yeah,
Kylie showing up at a show and jumping the barrier and all that
yeah.
stuff. There's been nothing, and I don't understand it. Like, if you're wanting to sell it on someone like Natty coming in and
Mm.
get publicity, why are they not pushing it? Why are they not doing promos about that instead of regurgitating stuff from last week?
Yeah, exactly that. They could have done that. And as I said, they'll probably do it. Maybe they've got 2 weeks before the match airs. Maybe it'll air with the Latimer match, which is so it gives us two, maybe three. I can't quite remember if there's another any more matches other than the semis, the final, and Latimer and
So
Kenzie.
that's one, two, one, two. We've got four matches that we know of, yeah?
The two
Left.
semis, no, five.
Five.
The two semis, the final, Latimer versus Rhino and Colby, and Natty and Kenzie. Maybe that
Okay.
airs the final week and then they do it, maybe start next week, they will start to air it. But it is a bit of a weird one. You would have banked on that, you know, big debut on a big streaming platform.
Yep.
Don't know how well they're doing, to be honest. I have no clue.
I've got no idea.
But you would have hinged your bets on, hey, look who's coming up. And people are like,
I would
shit,
have pushed that.
I would have done it straight
But
away.
but maybe, I don't know, maybe it's got something to do with WWE and what they're allowing, and I don't know. Maybe there's restrictions on it. Like, you just don't know. WWE
No.
are a behemoth, aren't they? Let's be honest. And
Hmm.
there was probably a lot written into the contract for this that none of us are aware of. So there could be
Yeah.
factors that we have no idea about.
That could be true. Yeah, we don't know. So we'll have to wait and see for that. But it should come up on the programming soon because there was a lot, as we said, there's a lot that happens prior to even the match taking place, which
But even like on social media now, there's still not anything that's it's gone dead. I thought even maybe NWE's socials might have been like, oh, Crockett Cup, keep
Mhm.
watching, huge match, natty, blah blah blah, but nothing.
Absolutely nothing. Nothing, which is a shame
Yeah.
considering the hype it got at the start. But there we go. Look, that was Power this week. Very small in terms of matches. Good match. Both matches were good, by the way. There's
Yeah.
no question about it. Just could have, you could have
But
had.
we've got our gripes.
We got the gripes, but it's not about the in-ring action. That's for sure. It's more about the stuff that comes around it. But with that being said, Fee, you're a very, very busy woman coming up. What's going on here?
I have got, well, the next couple of weeks aren't too bad. I've only got one show this weekend with PBW and Motherwell. That's on Saturday. And then I am not showing again until the following Saturday, which is the 6th, and I'm with PBW in Armadale. And then I've got a show on the 11th, and then I am away with Bret Hart on the 15th. So that'll be fun. I've just realised we're finishing the tour in London. Normally we do from south to north, but we're starting in the north and coming south again now.
Coming
So
south. Yeah, the 17th you're in London, but the Glasgow one, sorry, the Manchester one is completely sold out now.
Completely sold out, yep.
Completely sold out.
NWATix.com though, have a wee look if any, not NWA, sorry, ITRTix.com.
Wow.
Sorry, Kenny. The IT, I've got so used to talking about the NWA, so ITRTix.com for tour tickets for Brett. I really don't know what's available. If you are looking for tickets, I know that people have been on the Inside the Rope socials on the community pages
Yeah.
and stuff saying that they've got stuff available. Kenny or one of the team should be able to vouch for them if you're unsure. They'll
Yeah.
know if it matches the name on somebody that's purchased them. There's still tickets available for Mick Foley as well. But other than that, I've got a whole host of other wee bits and pieces coming up, so that's exciting.
Good. Excellent stuff. And anyone that wants to go to Inside the Ropes, I'd strongly recommend going to those
Good
shows. They
times.
are.
Come and see me, come and say hi. It's always nice to see people. I
Yeah.
get that quite a lot actually. There's people that I don't see from year to year and they'll just pop up at a show, but it's always nice to chat to everyone. I'm always at the meet and greet side of things, so it's always nice to see what you've all brought, like to get signed and stuff. Somebody came to Mark Henry last week with a skillet to get signed, which I thought was really cool.
I would have brought a hand.
A foam hand
Yeah.
or?
And you remember his Mark May Young gave birth to a hand after Mark
Yeah,
Henry was
we
sexually
spoke
chopping.
about that. I will tell you off the air what Mark said about that segment.
That's going to be
That is not for public consumption.
on that note, ladies and gentlemen, goodbye. No, I do a little bit. So we're hoping to be interviewing Tiffany Nieves in a bit, La Princesa from NWA. We'll hopefully be interviewing her very, very soon. That will go out in a few weeks. Unless there's any hiccups, then we'll wait and see. Slamsters. So these guys are bringing out a wrestling ball game.
I'm
To,
intrigued by this.
so am I. You can go to TikTok actually. Let me just bring up their handle quickly just before we go off so that people can actually go and see what they're up to. I think it's just at Slamsters, but I'll Slam Stars Wrestling it's called. And it's tabletop wrestling game. Really
Tabletop
interesting.
wrestling game.
Yeah, you can't really say you're not going to be able to see it. Am I? If I flash it up on my phone, no, you can't. No, I'll just
I'll
advise
have a look.
everyone to go and follow it and yeah, have a look. It's going to be great. It's going to be a great game. It's still in production, so I'm looking forward to sort of seeing how it all come about and the love of wrestling, of course, because you wouldn't bring out a game if you didn't like it. Wrestling, you wouldn't think anyway. Obviously, Clash at the Castle this weekend, this Sunday, so there will be prediction shows and review
I
shows.
saw a post about that. Just I know this is an
Wrestling fans.
NWA thing, but I saw a post just before we came on air that they've cancelled all the meet and greets.
Yeah, so yeah, probably lack of ticket sales at the fucking prices that they're charging.
Insane money, I guess.
Yeah,
Okay,
sorry,
that's
Clash at
unfortunate.
Paris, not Clash at the Castle. My bad. Yeah, but anyway, yeah, the ticket prices are horrific. But anyway, we're busy next week, though. J Rock from Exodus Pro, the man that's going to be taking on Dante Casanova. He kind of, forced EC3's hand
He
at the
did
show
indeed.
to get there, but we got him on the show next week. We've got a very late one next week with Gannon Jones Jr. I think he's one half of the tag team champions. We had the other half on quite recently. Forgive me, I can't remember who it was, but who is the other half of the tag team champions? Geez,
That's really bad.
sorry, I'm
I
gonna
can flick
do.
back through.
It wasn't him. Hold on, it wasn't him. I'm gonna get. It wasn't Talos, that's for sure.
That's terrible. I know, I
Oh
should
my
know.
God,
I've
I
seen
should
so
know.
much lately.
We have done so much lately with Exodus Pro. Maybe we haven't interviewed him.
I don't know.
Maybe,
I'm just
maybe.
looking at my notes.
I don't think we have actually. Sorry, that's on me. Sorry, guys. We haven't interviewed the other half of the tag champions. He is one half of the tag champions, with Gannon Jones Jr. We're looking forward to interviewing him. That's for sure. Um, that'd be a good one. Be a late one for us. But the one that you're going to probably miss out on, the one that I'm looking forward to the most, Love Doug. I actually seeing the picture of Love Doug the other day, and he looks like a slimmer version of Corey McRae. who's with Corey McRae with a mullet. It would be more likely, more like Love Doug. Also, we've got an Ignite takeover as well. So obviously we've got Buckle Up coming up in September the 21st. We have a big takeover there. Taylor James is joining us. Mr. Happy, Chris Aries is joining us. I'm going to try and make him crack a smile. I've got more chance of winning the lottery at the weekend. David, Bartholomew, and Will Scar will be back as well. We're going to do the top 10 wrestling games as chosen by us, of course. It'll be interesting to see our lists, who we've got on our lists. And of course, like I said, buckle up, September the 21st. Just announced Tommy Tanner will be going against Spike Trevay on that one. So Tommy Tanner's got an opportunity. Really, one of the big. He's been wrestling a year. You wouldn't know it. You would think that he's been wrestling a very long time, but he has got big dreams, which you can see on the channel very, very soon. Because I interviewed him very, very recently. And lastly, big thank you to these guys. That's AEW, and again, I know this is NWA. This is never coming off. Unless I get one next year. This is a press sticker. So at the weekend, just gone, myself and Dave Robinson were very lucky to attend AEW with media. So we had the likes of Simon Miller with us. We had the likes of SoCal Val sitting with us. The guys at Wrestle Talk were there. Fightful was there as well, and me and Dave. So it was really me and Simon.
Me and Dave.
Me and Simon Miller were quite fun. It was like a couple of eggs in a box. With those, but I got to ask Tony Khan a question as well, as did David as well. So that was very nice at the press conference. I will say this. I know this isn't NWA. He is very personable with his answer. And what I mean by that, and I've said this on the review that we done the other day, I asked him a question and he rarely, although he was answering the room, he rarely took his eyes off of me when he was answering the question. So it's quite personal.
That's just good manners.
It is good manners from TK. And it was a very late press conference. Well, I had to get an Uber back from the O2 to Essex. And I left Rachel sitting in the Pepsi deck on her own for the whole show with Dave's dad.
That'll explain the photo like that at you.
Yeah, so what happened was that, again, I don't want to keep going on, but we'd already bought tickets at the Pepsi deck. They were about 200 quid each. I kind of threw away £200 here. But the one thing I weren't throwing away was the fact that we got free food and a free beer. So I said, or free drink, whatever you want. So I said to Rach, like, oh, we'll go down, we'll get our seats. You order the food. When it comes, we'll come up. So I'm not passing up an opportunity at free food. So that's what we done. We sat down in the media seats. And then Rachel was like, food's here. Me and Dave went back to our old seats because we had the tickets on my phone. Food, had our food, had our drink, and then went back down and sat, show for the show. So it was quite a, good thing that we did do that in the end. But hopefully we'll get it again. But it was a really great experience. And so big thanks to everyone at AEW for that. So very much appreciated, and something that will live very long in my memory anyway. And I'm sure Dave sat there, turned around at me, well, what the fuck are we sitting here for? Because it was that ridiculously close, and with everybody else, we looked like it's sort of two people with all these other big media people, and there's me and Dave sitting there like Waldorf and thingy out of the Muppets.
Waldorf and Statler.
Yeah. Two grumpy old men. But anyway, that's enough of that. That's enough of this show. Fee, fingers crossed. Fingers crossed now you'll be able to start seeing it without any issues. Pal.
Thursday seemed to be the day. No, this is Wednesday.
This is Wednesday, that's what I mean.
Yeah. So I can't, I tried last night to access it. For whatever reason, I didn't. It worked today, so
hopefully Wednesdays, because if it is Wednesdays, then we can obviously do this on a Wednesday.
Works out quite well, yeah.
I get to work at 7:15 on Tuesday morning. It's straight on, and I
really hope your boss isn't watching this.
Well, I don't start work till 9, Fee.
All right, fair enough.
So I'm not doing it. I'm not pretending to. I'm actually, funny enough, I'm actually doing work at the same time. I'm just watching it anyway. But anyway, look, assuming all is well and assuming you can watch it, and actually I'm away next week, but we'll still be doing it because I'm only going to Cornwall, so we'll be watching NWA. So anyway, with that being said, are we back for semi-finals week of the Crockett Cup?
We are indeed.
We are. We hope you are too. Until next time, everybody, buckle down, stay safe, and good.